So I'm Nicholas Reynolds. For those who don't know me, I've been in the industry of network marketing for quite a few years now. I love it because it's all about people. It's all about making a difference. And the sky's the limit. Like, there really is no limit in terms of what we can achieve success-wise, financially. I've met some amazing people in this industry who are hugely successful, but also really, really humble. And I've come to the conclusion that it's because the only way you make it big in this industry is you've got to help a lot of people. And it's not easy. And the hardest part, the struggle is real. Being in the trenches is you're going to get a lot of rejection. But if you can control your emotions to handle rejection, you're going to be absolutely fine when it comes to building the business. You're going to get a lot more people that are going to say no to you than are going to say yes. That's just the way it goes, okay? So don't be afraid of people saying no. Don't be afraid when people are going to say it's not going to work. Don't be afraid when people that you thought you could count on, you just realize, oh, well, they don't seem to care that much, or I thought they were going to be really positive and supportive, and now they're really negative. And why is that person my friend last week, but now they're just acting weird? They don't even really respond to my messages. They don't look at me the same way. They don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just know that the friendships and relationships you're going to develop as you build your business are going to be worth a lot more than perhaps some of the relationships you used to have that you thought were amazing. But maybe, people, have you ever, I work in a school, right? In some of my days, I do a bit of part-time teaching. And, one day some kids can be friends with one group, and then they have an argument, they have some fight, or they have some problem. And then another day they're friends with another group of people. And, in life is about, we go through different seasons of life. And sometimes you have really close friends in one season, and then things change. Maybe you get married and your circle of friends kind of changes a little bit, the dynamics change, or maybe you have a child and some of the people that you used to spend a lot of time with, you don't spend so much time with, but then you develop a new circle of friends, etc. Or you move to a different country, or you move to a different city, or you take up a new hobby and you start to develop some new friends because of the hobby, or you start in a new workplace and you develop a new circle of connections. That's life. And that I think is quite exciting, because every day, everywhere you go, you never know who you're going to meet. And the reason I say all this is just to lay a foundation, because I'm going to be talking about this topic of team building. And remember that your objective in the business is to build a large team. Because if you're going to make money the smart way, and you're going to make the big money, which I think for most of the people, when I read people that shared their why earlier, you're going to need a lot of money and you're going to need a lot of time. And that's why you need leverage. You need residual income, lots of it, and you need leverage, getting paid on the efforts of other people. Now, you've seen this saying, quote before, that to have success in the business, you've got to talk to lots of people, okay? Let's just make that really, really clear. Now, you don't need to know lots of people, but you will, over the years that you build your next size business, you will talk to a lot of people. For some of you, that fills you with fear. For some of you, that fills you with excitement. For me, it fills you with excitement. When I got started in the business, I wasn't as confident as I am today. But this business has made me more confident. Do you want to become a more confident person? Most people would say, yes, they do. Great. Do you want to develop your English skills, your speaking skills, your communication, your presentation skills? Do you want to become a better communicator? Of course, I think all of us want to become better. This business, this industry is going to develop you in so many ways. You have no idea. Okay, now when you're getting started in the business, your focus is just to make a list and invite people. Focus there. Don't get distracted by other things. Focus on just doing this bit well. Okay, it's not that complicated, but there will be challenges. Okay, it's easy me to say it's not that complicated. Well, it's not that complicated. If you break it down, I'm going to break it down for you. Now, when it comes to making a list, we always say there's two categories of people that you're going to make a list of and then eventually talk to. People in your warm market, people you know, and then there's people in your cold market, people you don't know. Now, the cold market is definitely bigger because there's 8 billion people on the planet. The vast majority, you don't know them, right? You're never going to run out of people to talk to. And then many of you are living in the UK, you're living in London. There's 12 million people in London. How many people do you need to find in this business? You need to find 3 good leaders. Now they're out there. And my mentor told me, he said, when you get started in the business, you haven't got started until you've made a list of 100 names. So I want all of you to have in your mind very clearly, anyone who's been in this business less than 5 months, if you haven't got a list of 100 people, you haven't even started yet. You might have been in the business for 3 months, but if you haven't got a list of 100 names, you haven't even started yet. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, some of these things, because doubt is the biggest enemy that we all face, and it's in our own heads. We have questions and we doubt ourselves all the time. And if you lack confidence, you're going to doubt probably a lot more. And if you're surrounded by a lot of negative people or negative situations, or you've gone through a lot of trials in life, then maybe you've got a lot more of these doubts and fears and questions than maybe someone else. But have you ever heard the voice in your head say things like, I don't know many people? Or leaders on the call, have you ever had business partners that have said to you, or prospects that have said to you, well, I can't do the business because I don't know many people? Hey, it's normal for some people to feel that. And then there's some people that will say, but I've run out of people to invite. I've gone through all my contacts. You know, no one I've spoken to is interested. You know, most of the people I know, they're mums and they don't have time. Or I'm new to the country, I don't know many people. All right, I want to address this. I want to address this. I want to address this very important topic. I'm struggling with my list. Because basically, if you don't have a long list, and 100 names is not that long. The reason we say 100 names is because if you go through that list of just 100, just have a list of 100 names. If you go through that list and you invite people the right way, and you're going to get better and better and better as you do those, out of that 100, you're almost certainly going to find 3 really good ones. You might find 10, 20 people that enroll in the business even. The goal is to get as many of that 100 to see the business. That's it, to see it. We just want them to have a look. We just want them to come and see this project. Now let's talk about how you can grow your list. Go through your phone. Go through your social media. Think about your workplace. You might not have their numbers, but you got their names. You know where they work. You see them regularly. You can switch numbers with them at some point. Think about your community, your neighborhood, your church, places where you spend time socially, places where you shop, okay? Every week we show this slide, and there's a checklist on the right. You want to identify people that you know who are successful, credible, influential, have a large network. You definitely want to find these kinds of people. They're out there. So start with these people, but grow that list to 100, and don't prejudge. Don't assume, oh, they're too busy, they won't have time for this. Don't assume they're already successful, they've got a good job, they make a lot of money. Or someone said to me the other day, oh, all my friends, they all have their own businesses and they're all, you know, self-employed. They won't be interested. That's a load of rubbish. Most business people out there are struggling right now. I don't know whether it's most, but I think, I mean, most people are struggling right now. Most people in a job are struggling to pay the bills. The bills are going up faster than the the wages are going up. So isn't there a problem? Like, now is the best time for us to be in this industry, network marketing, because we have a solution and people don't know about it. And your job is to get them in front of the information. That is it. The hardest part of network marketing is this: getting people to the presentation. And over my years in this business, I am constantly learning and growing in this area of different ways to get people. Okay. Now, your closest friends and family should theoretically be the easiest just to get to a meeting, but you know how people are. They can go weird on you. They're busy all the time, but at the end of the day, they trust you. You just need an honest conversation with them. You need to get them to a meeting. And for that, you know what I would do personally? Your closest circle of people, I would call a home meeting. I would have a grand opening. If I were you, if you're on this call and you have not done a grand opening in your home, you are missing a trick. This is so powerful. You see, if you were, I don't know, going to decide you're going to move to the other side of the world, start a new career, marry a new person or whatever, hopefully you would call a meeting to sort of break the news and to, you know, share your plans, your travel plans or whatever. You know, you would call a meeting. You wouldn't just do it over the phone. It's a bit lack of respect. You would call a family meeting. You get your closest people there and say, guys, this is what I'm planning to do. Just want to let you know in 3 weeks, I'm out of here. But I just wanted to have this little farewell get together. I just wanted to tell you a little bit. I didn't want you to see it on social media and not understand. You would call a meeting. Then there's people that you don't know so well, and you would invite them to an event. Okay, we have events. Like we had an event the other weekend. This is great for people that you don't know very well, that you wouldn't invite to your home, but you'd invite them to an event. Okay. Then, of course, we have Zoom webinars, which are good for anyone. But let me help you a little bit here. Every person that I launch, I tell them about this book. And I think everyone should study this book and make it part of your weekly activity, that you spend an hour at least a week just reading this book. Now, the first 5 chapters cover the basics: networking, making a list, inviting. Okay, and that's what new people need to focus on. Chapter 4 goes through the skill number 1, which is finding prospects. And then the next chapter is about inviting prospects. Now, here's some tips. You're struggling with your list. You haven't got a list of 100. You need to write down the names of everyone you know. All right, you might know people in different countries. You might have a list for UK. You might have a list for another country. That's fine. Everyone you know needs to go on the list. Don't prejudge. But also think about, who do your contacts know? You might have a friend, but she's a mother. You know her from the play group. But, you know, she has a partner. She has a husband. She has a family. Maybe you've heard her talk about them. You think, yeah, she probably knows 2 or 3, 4 other people that could be really good for this business. Okay, that's something to think about. And pay attention to your world. Who do you come into contact with every single day? Like, who do you meet? Like, it might be that person at the coffee shop. It might be that person at the train station. It might be that cleaner at work that you normally just walk straight past. You don't even really talk to. You're too busy trying to get out of the office, even say hello when they come in after you, perhaps. You know, what about in the shops where you go? Like, who serves you in the restaurant. Like, there's people you meet, you don't like have their their numbers in your phone perhaps right now, but you kind of know them, right? So think about these people as well. And everywhere you go, network on purpose. You get an invitation to a birthday party, go there. Get an invitation to a barbecue, get down there. You go to church, go and meet some new people. Don't just hang with the same old clique. Go and meet some new people. Go and welcome someone who's on their own. Go and be friendly to someone who hasn't got loads of friends or who's new or whatever. I mean, I was just at church the other week and we were celebrating our pastor's birthday and they had some food and drink out. And I just went to get a drink. And the pastor was there and I actually said to him, would you like a drink? And he said, yes, please. And someone was talking to him. And she had an American accent. And I heard her say where she was from. And interesting. I know someone from that place. Anyway, I just started having a conversation. And one of my favorite questions to ask people is, so what do you do? Isn't that a normal question to ask? Breaks the ice. So what do you do? By the way, tip, always be the person to ask that question first, because then depending on what they answer, you can answer in a different way, depending. Anyway, she said, I'm a student. And I said, great, international student, what are you studying? And then guess what she said? She said, I'm studying international business and marketing. And I said, no way. I just had a feeling she would say something to do with business. I said, no way. She said, what do you mean? I said, that's what I do. And I just quickly showed her my business card, not because I wanted to give her it. I didn't give her my business card. I just said, this is what I do to prove it. Because I'm someone she doesn't know, like from no, this is what I do. I'm involved in international business anyway. And we started a conversation. And she said, oh, really interesting. I said, yeah, listen, I would love to talk to you. Anyway, to cut a long story short, I followed up with her and I said, yeah, it'd be great to maybe have a chat in the week on Zoom. We scheduled a time. We had a meeting earlier in the week. I showed her the business. She said she wanted to think about it, pray about it. I said, fine, you do that. Anyway, a few days later, I asked her, so what are your thoughts? What do you want to do? She said, well, I'm too busy right now with my studies and my other business things, I said, fine, that's okay. And I encouraged her to think, who does she know that she could introduce to me? But seriously, I challenged her as well. I said, most people are busy. They think they haven't got time. But you know what? When you find something that's valuable, you always find time. And I said, if you can give me 1 hour a week, I will show you how you can make money from this business. So it's a conversation to continue. She's not going anywhere. Be friendly, don't be pushy. Don't try and convince people. Just connect with people. It might not be for her right now, but a few months from now, when she's finished her exams, maybe she'll see the progress we're making and she'll realize, you know what, now's a good time. I have a bit more time in my calendar, etc., etc. Anyway, be friendly. What else am I going to say on this? Speak to new people. I already said that. All right. What else can I give you that's new? Get this document, scan the QR code, download it. I'm going to share it in the group chats after this anyway. The ultimate memory jogger. This is a big document, but it literally, if you're struggling to think of people, just go through the memory jogger. It's going to give you hundreds and hundreds of categories that will just jog your memory. Who do you play sports with? I'm just looking on things on here. It goes through lists, a lot of what I've already said. I know I'm not going to, you can look at it. And it gives you a list like this. And I would encourage all of you to, either have a spreadsheet or get lots of sheets of paper and just put the numbers down the left-hand side, put the names on the left-hand side. You don't need to write their phone number or email. It's already in your phone. Maybe a note of how you know them. Like, are they from church? Are they from work? Are they in the UK? Are they family? I mean, obviously some of it's obvious, but particularly the comment section is really important because you need to keep a check of when you phone them, Did they agree to attend a meeting? You need to, because you got to keep going back to this list. And the goal is their name stays on the list until they're either a business partner or a customer. All right. I'm very organized. I have lists. I have lists of people, and I have lists of people that I presented the business to. All right. I mean, I make a list for my business partners. I mean, this is Bob. Bob had another presentation today. All right. These are people. Okay. We've shown the business all these people. None of them have joined the business. Some of them become customers, but you got to have a list, because you got to be able to know who to follow up with, because when Next Rise brings out something new, Bob can go back to these people and say, hey, Gareth, remember I showed you the business back in September last year? Well, you know what? A lot has happened since then. How's things in your world? Has much happened, much changed? No, same old, same old. Okay, well, look, as a lot has changed in our business, would it be okay to schedule a meeting where we can show you what's new? And he says, yeah, it sounds interesting. And they come back and they see it, and then they get started. So always be organized when it comes to your list. What else can I say on the list? Team building. If you phone 30 people, you might get through to 20. 10 will say they will attend. Don't be surprised when half of them don't show up, because that's normal. Don't get emotional. Stuff happens, but one gets started. Oh, but I've done like 25 presentations and no one has joined my business. Or like one of my business partners, you know, she's so busy, but she had 2 people that joined the business. One gave up after 1 day and one gave up a week later. Who cares? That's their loss. I've obviously, when you're new and you've just got your 2 business partners and you're all excited, and then they give up, you feel like, ah, don't worry about it. That's their loss. It's not for them right now. That's their decision. They've given up far too quickly, or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's not for them. Don't worry. This is just part of it. Anyway, I'm not going to go into training today on the scripts. I've done that before. You've got the scripts. These are the different things that you can say, different techniques. All right. But I would encourage all of you to schedule a home meeting. Seriously, if you haven't done one of these yet, you're missing out. Or talk to your mentor who's going to do the presentation for you. Schedule a date in the diary and make it big. You know, maybe organize it 2-3 weeks in the future. And like you would a wedding, like you would a birthday party, like you would a special event. This is your grand opening for your business. Doesn't matter if your business started 3 months ago. Have a grand opening. Invite 50 people. They're not all going to come. If you invite 50, maybe 10 will show up. 10 people in your living room. That's a good vibe. It's going to be a lot of fun, and you're going to get a lot of results. So let me conclude by just letting you know about a couple of things. Events. Everything we do is an event. All of you here on the call, you're at our very important training event. The events build your belief. And when you take action, when you're excited, so right after an event is the best time to take action. Maybe not, maybe in the next half an hour, if you're in England, the next half an hour is a great time to make some phone calls and say, listen, I've just come off the call with my mentor, some really successful people. There's a lot of amazing things going on. I want you to check it out. I just want you to give 30 minutes, come on a Zoom, have a look. You can come on from your phone. You don't need to talk. You just come on and have a look. I want you to have a look at something that I think could possibly change our lives financially. Would you come and have a look? If they can't come and have a look, then they're not much of a friend, or you haven't made them interested or curious. But these are people you know. You want, if you're urgent and you're excited, you take action, you invite them the right way, you will get results. It's just a matter of time. Okay. And the people that see the business, get them to the training event so they can get more questions answered. And by the way, if there are any questions that anyone on this call has, please put them in the chat so that we can leave you with all the answers. So just take a photograph of this. These are the upcoming business presentations. Every Thursday at 7 p.m. I do one, generally speaking. Next week, it might be an hour earlier at 6 p.m. because I've got a friend from the USA coming over for dinner. 5th of March, 5th of March. No, it should be the 3rd of March, sorry. 3rd of March is Friday, Femi, hopefully if he's well. And then on Mondays, Joshua, okay? So make use of those events and remember next Tuesday training, okay? So that's it. And here's some resources that I always recommend. The GoPro book, Making the Shift. If you haven't listened to that audio, that's brilliant for developing the right mindset. And everyone really should listen to that in their first week of being in the business. If you haven't listened to it yet, listen to it. Everyone that I've launched in the welcome email, I put a link at the bottom. You must listen to it. Rise of the Entrepreneur is a brilliant documentary. If you want to watch that, that's a great one to watch with friends, or even to recommend people that have seen the business but haven't joined the business, or maybe they're a bit negative or skeptical. Just say, hey, you know that business is important and entrepreneurship is very, very important. If I share with you this little 50-minute documentary, which really shows you how important it is in today's day and age to start a business of some sort, then would you watch it? You might find it quite informative. And if they're willing to watch it, then send them the link. It's on YouTube if you search for it as well. Okay, just looking in the chat. Guys, thank you so much for giving your 90 minutes of Tuesday evening when you could have been doing something else, but thank you for being here. Well done to Adi Tunji for staying all the way through, for Blessing, for Nanda, Jay, Ludo, Marek, first-time guest. Well done to him for being here for the whole time. Bless you. Nilesh Kumar, it's good to see you at the weekend. Bob and also Vinita, who hopped in later. Well done to all of you for being here to the very end. God bless you. Have a productive week. Hope to see you on the Thursday webinar. Even if you don't have guests, come to the webinar yourself so you can learn more about how to present the business, and maybe you can give a testimony that can encourage someone else's guest. You know what I'm saying? So I'll see you then. Have a good night, everyone. Stay well, and we'll see you soon. Have a productive week.